this video, we're going over the new best settings to use here in Black Ops 6 Season 1. For you veteran viewers and players, this is a refresher, but considering the fact that Double XP is live and Xbox Game Pass is on sale for $1, I want to help out as many people improving their aim, accuracy, and gun skill. Let's get into it. As you can see, I play with an Xbox Elite controller on PC with one paddle on the back, the short paddle set up for jumping. Now, these settings are going to work no matter what controller you are playing with and also no matter what console you are playing on. For the button layout, I always recommend running tactical. Tactical is going to be the absolute best button layout to play on for Call of Duty no matter what controller you have. This is going to remap your crouch and prone button so you can prone down by pressing down on the right thumbstick. This is going to allow you to perform a drop shot and still be aimed down sight and get in and out of cover a lot easier and overall take advantage of the omni movement, which is very important here in Black Ops 6. And what you can also see is that I am running on a 6 horizontal stick sensitivity as well as a 6 vertical stick sensitivity. I always recommend players, especially if they are struggling with aim, accuracy, and gun skill at longer ranges, to run between the 4 and the 6 sensitivity window. This is going to be perfect, allowing you to have enough movement so you can turn on players, but you're still going to be accurate at those longer ranges. There's absolutely no reason to be playing on a 10 plus sensitivity here in Black Ops 6 because 6 is going to allow you to do everything that a 10 sensitivity can let you do, but you're going to be more accurate at longer ranges. Now, everything else here is going to be the same. What I have actually went ahead and adjusted is I've turned off my controller vibration. The reason I turn off vibration is because I do not want to have any stick play or movement in my controller when I'm trying to take out at those longer ranges. If you are struggling at long range combat, I highly recommend turning off your vibration and seeing if that makes an improvement. I shut off my vibration back in Call of Duty World at War and I have never turned it back on. Now, for the dead zone inputs, these are my settings. They are going to be completely dependent on what controller you are using. I have an Xbox Elite controller, so these are what I am running currently with the controller that I have for use. Now, for aiming, your sensitivity multiplier, you want to go ahead and make some adjustments here depending on your sensitivity in game. Now, these are going to be some perfect settings depending on if you're going to be playing between that 4 and 6 sensitivity window. Now, if you're playing on a 6 sensitivity like I am, I highly recommend putting on your ADS sensitivity multiplier to 0.65 and your focus multiplier to 0.65. This is very important because it's going to allow you to run a higher sensitivity but still be accurate and have less stick play at those longer ranges. This is 1 by default, so I definitely recommend adjusting this. If you are playing on a 4 sensitivity, you want to have this at a 0.75, and if you are playing on a 5, 0.65 is going to be even better. Now, let's say you want to go ahead and kick it up a notch and run like a 7 or an 8 sensitivity. Maybe you're not really happy with the 4 to 6 window. You want to go ahead and reduce this to a 0.55. I used to play on a 7-8 sensitivity in Modern Warfare 3, but here in Black Ops 6, I'm enjoying the 6.6. That's why I'm going to be running the 0.65 multiplier for regular as well as focusing. Now, again, everything else here is going to be pretty much the same. For look inversion, obviously, these are all going to be on standard, and I have my ADS sensitivity transition timing. This is going to be set to instant. Sometimes when you boot up the game, it's going to be on gradual. Make sure this is on instant. Something else I've made adjustments to is the aim response curve type. I went ahead and put this to standard. Now, you can actually go ahead and run linear or dynamic. Dynamic is going to be really effective if you're running assault rifles or SMGs, but I've been sniping a lot recently, so I've actually reverted back to standard. But once I go back to start using some more assault rifles, SMGs, going ahead and putting dynamic is going to be very helpful because you're going to be able to snap onto targets a lot easier at those longer ranges, in turn making you win a lot more long range gunfights. So if you're sniping, run standard, or let's just say you don't like dynamic, standard is going to be great, but dynamic is going to be perfect if you're going to be running that 4 to 6 sensitivity window with that 0.65 ADS multiplier for standard as well as focus. Now for the remainder of the settings here, I am running target aim assist. Obviously it's going to be turned on. We are running with a controller. Motion sensor behavior is turned off, and all these motion sensor advanced settings are going to be on default. Now for the movement, for sprint assist, I always recommend running tactical sprint assist. This is going to be really helpful, especially if you're trying to run and gun. It's one less button you have to press, so make sure you guys go ahead and have this enabled. Mantle assist is turned off. Crouch assist is turned off. Corner slice is also turned off. And my slide dive behavior is going to be on hybrid. This is going to be incredibly important. It's going to prevent you from doing any unnecessary sliding or diving, which is going to guarantee an accidental death in multiplayer. So make sure you guys run hybrid. Everything else here is going to be the same. I've not made any other adjustments under the movement settings. Now for combat settings here, all these are going to be pretty much the same as well. I have prioritized finishing move because sometimes you can go ahead and have prioritized body shield. This is something that I know a lot of people accidentally do. Maybe they don't want to do it, so that's why I have prioritized finishing move instead. Armor plate's going to be obviously apply all. This is going to be more of a war zone setting. For C4 detonation, I like to go ahead and have this on 1 by 1, because if you actually have this at all at once, you are not going to be able to detonate a C4 when you want to detonate the C4. You have to throw both of them at the same time. You don't want that to happen. You want to have it 1 by 1. Very important setting that honestly messed me up before I went ahead and made a change. Everything else here is going to be pretty much the same. I've not made any adjustments for the rest of these settings. Now let's go over the graphic settings. These are going to be imperative when trying to improve your aim, accuracy, as well as gun skill. View is going to be the tab you want to select. Now, motion reduction preset is going to be turned off. My FOV is going to be set to 120. That's what I like to play on, but you want to make sure that you are running between the 100 to 120 FOV window. This is important, especially if you want to take advantage of the aim assist as well as your ADS field of view, which I highly recommend setting to affected. It's independent by default. Affected is going to mirror whatever iron sight or optic you are using. It's going to mirror the FOV that you are running. So if you're ever wondering how other players in game, YouTubers or streamers look like they have no recoil or less recoil, it's because they're running between that 100 to 120 FOV range with the ADS field of view set to affected. It's going to make the game look and feel like it has less visceral recoil, which is going to be super important when winning those long range gunfights with weapons that actually have recoil. So if you are struggling using guns like, let's say, the AK-74 or the AS-VAL, make this change. It is going to be a night and day performance, and even better with guns that don't have a lot of recoil, such as the XM4 and the Model L. Third person field of view is going to be set to 90, doesn't really matter. Vehicle field of view is going to be on default. World motion blur is going to be turned off. Weapon motion blur is going to be turned off. These absolutely must be turned off. If you do not turn these off, your game is going to have a very weird haze, and it's going to be hard to see people, especially at longer ranges or if they're in dark corners. This has to be disabled. Your first person camera movement is going to be at 50%. You also want to go ahead and have your third person at 50%. It doesn't really matter, but that first person is what you want to go ahead and adjust. And everything else here is going to be the same, except I have my inverted flashbang turned on. Now let's go over the audio settings. They don't call me ears for nothing. These settings are just as important as your controller sensitivity settings. Now for your master game volume, I recommend running this at 100 so you can hear footsteps and gunfire a lot easier. Now the gameplay music volume, I have this reduced to 30 because it is incredibly loud here in Black Ops 6. If I did not reduce this, you probably would not be able to hear me, so make sure you guys go ahead and reduce this immediately. Now everything else is going to be the same, except I've made an adjustment under the audio mix, which I recommend everybody doing no matter what headset they are using, even if you have a surround sound stereo system. Headphones bass boost is going to be absolutely amazing. This is going to allow you to hear more gunfire and footsteps, so you can essentially figure out people are at without the use of a UAV. I run Astro A40TR headset. This is going to be a great headset, not expensive. I've been using this headset for over 5 years now, and it is still rocking strong. That goes to show you how effective the headset is and also its quality. Definitely go ahead and recommend you guys upgrading to a headset if you have not already. It's going to be a night and day game changer, especially if you are serious about getting better at Black Ops 6 and honestly any Call of Duty that comes out after this, or if you want to revisit Modern Warfare 3 or even Modern Warfare 2, having a headset is definitely going to be something you want to invest in. And finally, let's go over the interface settings. Now, luckily the interface settings are all good by default. Everything under global as well as readability we do not have to adjust, but under gameplay HUD I do recommend running the minimap shape set to square. Square is going to be a lot better than round. It goes to round by default. Square is going to be giving you a bigger minimap picture, and it's also going to be easier to read and interpret the minimap so you can figure out where people are located at and overall judge traffic patterns. If you want a dedicated video on the channel where I explain how to properly read and analyze the minimap, let me know down in the comment section. That is something that I can definitely provide. But these are going to be the settings you want to adjust under interface. For the most part, everything is going to be good here. You just have to adjust your minimap shape. These are going to be the absolute best settings to rock here in Black Ops 6 as of right now. Remember to run between that 4 to 6 sensitivity window if you're truly trying to improve your aim, accuracy, and gun skill. If this video does help you out, let me know down in the comment section. And as always, drop a like on the video, subscribe to the channel, turn on those post notifications, and I'm gonna catch you guys in the next one. Deuces.